So, have you ever plunged into the absolute chaos of public transportation? It's like stepping into a different dimension, where the rules of space and time are on a coffee break. Yes, dear friends, this is the wild world of buses, trains, and the ever-entertaining ticket machines. Let's begin with my personal favorite, the ticket machine. This contraption is like that one stubborn mule in a Western movie. It takes your money, and then decides it doesn't have any time for your nonsense. You're standing there, coins clinking in the slot, and nothing. Zilch. Nada. No ticket. It's as if the machine is saying, "Thanks for the donation, better luck next time." Now you're stuck in a conundrum. Do you walk away, accepting defeat? Or do you stand your ground, refusing to let a hunk of metal get the better of you? Oh, you choose to fight, of course. You start tapping, then knocking, then outright smacking the machine, hoping it will cough up your ticket. You're not just buying a ticket anymore, you're wrestling an uncooperative robot. And the best part? The bystanders. Some watch sympathetically, having been in your shoes before. Others are amused, probably taking bets on how long it will take before you give up. And then there's always that one person who offers unsolicited advice like, "Try hitting it on the left side, always works for me." Ah yes, because you hadn't thought of that. Meanwhile the clock is ticking. Your bus or train, which was running late for the last month, today decides to arrive on time. You can hear it in the distance, the low rumble growing louder. Your heart races, your palms sweat. Will you get the ticket in time? Will you miss your ride? The suspense is unbearable. And then, just when you're about to lose hope, the machine whirs to life, and out pops your ticket. It's a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. You grab your ticket, sprint towards your ride, and just manage to hop aboard as it pulls away. Now let's tackle the rolling boxes of unpredictability. Buses. You never know if you're going to get a seat, a story, or a sermon. Buses, they're like the Wild West of transportation. And there's always that one person who treats the bus like their personal living room. They've made themselves so comfortable, it's like they've forgotten they're in public. Shoes off, lunchbox open, chowing down on a tuna sandwich like they're in the comfort of their own home. I remember this one time, I saw a guy with a full-on TV tray and a roast chicken. Yes, a roast chicken. I mean, who needs dinner and show when you can have dinner and a bus ride? And let's not forget about the uncanny ability of buses to be late when you're on time. But the second you're running late, it's like the bus driver decides to try out for the next Fast and Furious movie. You find yourself sprinting down the street, bags flying, dignity lost somewhere between the bus stop and the corner bakery. Then there's the mystery of the missing bus, you know, the one that's supposed to come every 10 minutes? It's like they've found the doorway to Narnia or something because they just vanish into thin air. You're standing there checking your watch, checking the bus app, checking the sky for signs of the apocalypse, because surely that's the only explanation for a 40-minute delay. And then, just when you've lost all hope, just when you're about to give up and call a taxi, the bus parade arrives. Not one, not two, but 3 buses, all in a row. It's like they've been hiding around the corner, waiting for the most dramatic moment to make their entrance. It's a spectacle, a sight to behold, a parade of buses that nobody asked for. And you're left standing there, half amused, half annoyed, thinking, well, isn't this just the cherry on top of my unpredictable bus ride? And then we have our dear friend, the train. Trains are great, right? Until you accidentally board the wrong one and end up on an unplanned vacation. Oh, the thrill of adventure, the confusion, the sudden realization that you're not in Kansas anymore. Or in my case, not even in the right city. Picture this. You're comfortably seated, enjoying the landscape passing by. Suddenly, the announcement comes on, next stop, a city you've never heard of. A wave of confusion washes over you. You look around hoping to see a familiar face or landmark, but alas, all you see are signs in a language you can't even begin to comprehend. Congratulations, you've just won an unplanned vacation. It's like a surprise gift from the universe. You get off the train, explore the city, maybe even get a souvenir. You return home with a story that'll last a lifetime. But let's not forget about the daily train rides. You finally manage to snag a seat, and just when you think you're in for a peaceful journey, there it is, the armpit. Not exactly the neighbor you were hoping for, right? It's a smelly game of limbo every time the train turns. One moment you're sitting upright, the next you're twisted like a pretzel, trying to escape the looming pit of doom. And speaking of twists and turns, Ever noticed how train rides turn into salsa classes during rush hours? The train takes a curve, and you're swaying left. It speeds up, you're swaying right. It's like being in a salsa club, only the floor is shaking and there's no music. Just the rhythmic clatter of the train on the tracks. And the occasional, sorry, from fellow passengers stepping on your toes. So, there you have it. A train journey is not just a commute, it's a salsa class with a dash of unexpected tourism. Who knew public transportation could be this entertaining? Now let's soar to new heights with air travel. Airplanes where adults morph into toddlers. I mean, it's almost like we've regressed to the age of 3 the minute we step into an aircraft. We're all buckled up, eyes wide open, clutching our armrests as if they're teddy bears. And then, the in-flight service begins, and oh boy, isn't that a spectacle? Suddenly we all turn into snack monsters. It doesn't matter if we've just had a full meal at the airport, the sight of that snack cart rolling down the aisle and we're all eyes and stomach. We're bargaining with the flight attendant for an extra bag of peanuts like it's the last food on earth. And then comes the entertainment. It's like we've never seen a screen before. We're scrolling through the movie options like we're at the Oscars, judging each film with the intensity of a seasoned critic. Then there's the in-flight nap, or should I say, the game of whose shoulder is it anyway? I remember this one time I dozed off and woke up to find myself using a stranger's shoulder as a pillow. I looked up, ready to apologize, and the guy just handed me a travel pillow. He was like, "You looked uncomfortable, mate." I didn't know if I should be embarrassed or thankful, and let's not even start with the in-flight bathrooms. They're like a claustrophobic's worst nightmare. You're in this tiny, cramped space trying to figure out the mechanics of an airplane toilet, which, by the way, sounds like it's going to suck you out of the plane when you flush it. And the turbulence? It's like we're all on a roller coaster, hands in the air, screaming at the top of our lungs, only to realize it was just a little bump. But hey, who doesn't love a little thrill, right? In the end, air travel is like one big play date. We're all there, snacks in hand, a movie playing, and the occasional nap on a stranger's shoulder. Finally, let's dive into the world of public transportation etiquette, or should I say, the lack thereof. Now picture this. You're standing on a platform, waiting for a train. The train pulls in, the doors open, and instead of passengers coming out, there's a wave of people rushing in. It's like a reverse tidal wave where the water comes in before it goes out. It's an interesting phenomenon where the common courtesy of letting people off first is tossed out the window, much like a rule that only applies in an alternate universe. And it doesn't stop there. Once you're on this carriage of chaos, you're privy to a range of activities that would normally be reserved for private spaces. You've got the nail clippers who believe that their fellow passengers enjoy the sight and sound of flying nail shards. It's like a live-action, interactive 4D movie, but one that you definitely didn't buy a ticket for. Then, there are the loud phone talkers. Their conversations range from the latest office gossip to their aunt's cousin's dog's diet. It's like being at a live podcast recording, but without the option to press pause or skip. You're there, involuntarily eavesdropping, as they narrate their life story, one phone call at a time. And who can forget the rush hour subway ride? It's like being in a can of human sardines, where personal space is a myth and the sardines have coffee breath. There's always that one person playing loud music on their phone, making you question if you've accidentally stumbled onto a secret underground concert. And let's not forget the symphony of sneezes, coughs, and sniffles that accompany this ride. It's like a choir of germs performing their latest hit, the Cold Season Symphony. So there you have it, a journey through public transportation where basic manners are often left at the station and human sardines come to life.